Okay, just quickly interrupting. Yeah, hi. This is PNG tuber me talking because I am too lazy to get the webcam out. Future episodes of story crafting are not going to be like this. This was very much recorded on a whim, and I worked out a a whole process to how to pick prompts for future videos. So, future videos are not going to be just as spur of the moment as this one. Just wanted to throw that out there. You may now return to the video.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a series on my channel, Return to Writing, that I am going to be calling Story Crafting. And this is going to be where I, as a writer, because this is still a writing channel, even if I cover stories and details about stories to jump off of and theories from games and shows and stuff like that, in my other series, more to the story, story crafting is sort of like those old like picture prompt things you did in school where your teacher would give you a picture and you would have to create a story from it. So we're doing that in a sense today, jumping off of the FNAF videos I've done, the Five Nights at Freddy's videos. We are basically jumping off of that and sort of rolling with the theme of those games, and that is Mascot Horror. So how do we make a Mascot Horror story? Well, let's get to crafting. Mascot Horror isn't in an unfamiliar territory in general for the horror genre, turning something seemingly innocent and nostalgic into something scary isn't unfamiliar territory. We've seen that with movies like the Puppet Master movies, with the puppets that honestly I really dig their designs. If I had those as puppets, I would be happy. I would love to own all of those. But like even Dolls, a movie that focuses on sentient dolls that some of them were probably human. I mean, even going to Child's Play, the good guy doll, it wasn't originally all about Chucky. The good guy doll was a major part of that because it's this thought of, oh, this innocent toy. What could go wrong with this? What could we do horror movie wise to really turn it into something to scare audiences? It's not unusual to do that. It's not unusual to want to give people a false sense of security with this thing that's always seemed cheery, happy, nostalgic, something you have good connotations tied to. So seeing that in the gaming genre, that is, it's a perfect fit. So when you see games like Five Nights at Freddy's, for example, or Betty and the Ink Machine, or even Poppy Playtime, or Tattletale, or as much as people hate to hear this one nowadays, Burden of Banban, you see all of these games really just sort of carrying the torch in a sense to tell more horror stories, but in a more interactive format. So, what exactly makes these games pick? What makes a good mascot horror story? Because behind each one of these games is an equally objectively good story depending on your thoughts on the game. People can agree to disagree. We're not going to start up any arguments in the comments, but you get what I'm trying to say here. Behind a popular mascot horror game is usually an equally good, decent story that hooks the audience, that hooks the players. Okay, so how do we storycraft from a genre, not necessarily a given prompt? Well, I mean, if game devs can do it, so can writers. I mean, we go off random ideas all the time. I mean, I literally started writing a book that I am on my second draft of, that I got an idea from just a split second of a dream. A very small, like, fragment of a dream. So we can literally go off of nothing. So let's treat this like a writing version of a game jam. This is a writing jam in a sense. We are quite literally crafting a story from this, hence story crafting. But let's start with the simple one. Setting. where do we want this to be? If this is mascot horror, it has to be something a bit more nostalgic, a bit more friendly, a bit more open. Let's see, I've already explored the amusement park route in my own story that I'm working on for a book. We've had toys, we've had daycares, we've had pizzerias, we've had animation studios. Well, I could attempt another story for amusement park. Let's try circus. I mean, granted, I don't like clowns, so this is also kind of exploring my own childhood fears. Granted, I'm cool with clowns now. I just don't like them. I don't trust them. They're too chipper. Let's do that. Let's go circus. So we have our setting, a circus. So, got the handy dandy notebook. We've got our setting. Time for the mascot. Now, we could go clown. That is the obvious route. But I feel like even the circus itself needs a mascot. Because it's usually like the blank and blank circus, or the blank circus, or the blank family circus. So I feel like we need a mascot for the circus, hence mascot horror, because it wouldn't be mascot horror without a mascot to work with. So if it's a circus, we could go lion, bear. Actually, let's write these down. We got lion, bear, elephant, anything else. Lion, bear, elephant, monkey. I think that should suffice. Lion, bear, monkey. Oh, horse. There's usually the like dancing horses, right? But I feel like for a mascot that might be a little difficult to work with. So you know what? I take it back. We are going to scratch that. Now I feel like bear is the easy and obvious one to go towards because of things like FNAF. So let's look at lion, elephant, or monkey. Now, when you say circus and elephant, I immediately think Dumbo, so maybe to avoid any issues with Disney if we were to make this into anything, we avoid the elephant being the main mascot. So I say, you know what? Let's go with the lion. Let's go with the lion. The lion is the main mascot. Okay, so we've got the setting, circus, mascot, or at least main mascot would be the lion. We can always keep the bear, the elephant, and the monkey as like side characters. Let's see. Do we want to include clowns? I feel like we could just include the clowns anyway, unless it's a. Ooh, unless the lion's like the ring. Ooh, I like that. The lion's like the ringmaster, and the others are clowns. I like that. So we got the lion, the ringmaster, and the rest are clowns or clown themed. And obviously, the story could involve someone who is afraid of clowns in the circus, and perhaps this lion mascot maybe sort of tries to force someone out of their phobia in a sense. As in, maybe they like overhear someone talking about how they don't like the circus, and they try to sort of bring them into the world, but quite literally in a sense, like they become part of the circus. That could be interesting. So, so plot. That could be someone doesn't like the circus. Yes, I am writing this all down. Don't know if you can hear that, but ASMR. Don't know if you can hear it. I can certainly hear it, and I just wrote that in the weirdest way possible, but as long as I know what I'm writing, that's all that matters. So you could say the ringmaster lion kidnaps someone. You never know. Yeah, I like that. that's that's not a good thing to say. Yeah, I like that too, but I mean, this is story crafting. We are writing a story. We are making a plot. But I do like that from a horror aspect. It makes sense, sort of. Like I don't know how no one would notice. Like maybe it's late in the day, Maybe the crowds are trickling out. Maybe it's a traveling circus. Ooh, I like that. Traveling circus. We are going to a traveling circus to this. But yeah, no. I think we got something to work with here. So we've got our setting, which is a traveling circus. We've got our mascot and mascots as in his little group. We've got the ringmaster lion and his group of animal friends that are clown themed. And then we've got the basic plot of maybe someone is going to the circus with their friends or family and they really don't want to be there. And maybe the ringmaster lion sees this. So after the show, they sort of sneak up on them and quite literally take them in to try and show them that it's not as scary. And in the process, sort of integrates them into the show in a sense. It kind of turns into an interactive bit. So like maybe during the show, could be during the show. It could be this character. They go there with their friends. They don't want to be there. The ringmaster notices and pulls them in because it's always the people that are afraid and don't want to be there that they always pick out. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a circus, whether it's any sort of show. It's always the people that don't want to be there and don't obviously want to be a part of it that are always pulled in. If someone obviously doesn't want to be a part of something, don't pull them up, even if it's for a bit. But let's say that, and then as the show goes on, they slowly become more and more of a part of it. To the point where they are slowly, basically, becoming one with the show. So you see, Mascot Horror. It can be more than just ghost children and shady experiments. It can be your worst nightmare. So now that we have the semblance of a pretty decent mascot story, let's really start to break it down now. So we've got the circus, we've got the plot, we've got the idea that someone who doesn't like the circus is dragged along to this circus to see this traveling show. And this ringmaster lion character, this mascot character, sees them and pulls them out of the audience to become a part of the show. And as it goes on, they slowly, truly become a part of the show. And this is where I think it could be fascinating because it's a traveling show. Maybe this traveling circus doesn't have the best history. Or, you know what, maybe it does have a decent history, but it just seems that every town they hit, somehow, it's always one person goes missing. And the thing they all have in common is that they don't like the circus. So they're each becoming a part of this circus. They are each being quite literally a part of the show. Maybe that's how they get clowns. That is actually a terrifying thought. I don't want to think that. But maybe they each become different acts. Like maybe each person has something they are actually good at. So they become the different acts within the circus show. So like maybe a couple become clowns, a couple become like the strong man, tightrope walkers, things like that. Like maybe, and maybe if anything, it plays on their individual fears. Like maybe the person that's afraid of heights as well also they become a tightrope walker. Someone who thinks they are the weakest person becomes the strong man. Things like that. It could sort of go that route where it's kind of, sort of, maybe supernatural, like has that kind of element to it, but also sort of plays into like nightmares and almost has a bit of like a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of vibe where it's playing on your fears, but it's still tying that ringmaster character into this because they are quite literally the ringmaster. They are in control of this circus. So you have the focus on that mascot leading this show. And voila, we have successfully crafted a story. So, let's just say this is proof that Mascot horror doesn't have to be ghost children, shady experiments, a combination of the two, whatever the FNAF timeline became with the Fazgoo and the ball pit, and judging by the book covers for the latest book in the Pizza Flex series as of recording this, what I can only describe as Elvis Tiger. I mean, the design looks cool. Seems a little out of style for FNAF, but they've had animatronic sharks. Not surprised. But it doesn't have to be just all that. It can be something like what we just came up with this ringmaster lion character and his band of friends, bringing people that are clearly afraid of this, really feeding off their fears to create this traveling show. It can be somewhat supernatural mixed with playing on fears. It could be something like my story Red to the Rescue, which is playing on amusement parks and focusing on a ride and going more of the realistic horror route of what if someone was living within the ride. And I know that kind of spoils it a bit, but I haven't finished writing it. Things can always change. But yeah, no. That's the fun of story crafting. That's the fun of exploring these different things, whether it be writing from a picture or writing from something as simple as a genre title or subgenre, technically, because it would fall under horror. But that's the fun of that, and that's why I wanted to make the series to show that you can quite literally make a story from anything and truly explore different genres and just stories in general and get different ideas from something so simple. So, if you guys like this, leave a thumbs up, comment below. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications because I don't have a set schedule. And I will see you guys in the next video, where we might do a picture prompt. I don't know. That would be fun. So, yeah. See you then.